Well, today was another milestone in my life, I feel. It was a day of no stress or very little stress. I live the simple life, and it's the holidays, it's Christmas as I make this, and this is probably one of the least stressful holidays I've had in my lifetime. Now, I've been living the simple life for a couple years. But when you first start to change your life and downsize, good to see you, chosen by God. When you first start to change your life and downsize, just like starting a new job, it takes a little while to get a hang of it, to adjust and to adapt. So the first couple holidays or the beginning of your journey could even be a little bit stressful because you're unsure of yourself, you're adjusting to a new life, and you don't know if you're missing your old life or if you're just feeling the resistance of change. Good to see emoji me. Milano, what's up, brother? What's up? Stress is a killer, man. There's a lot of people that are skinny, but they have high blood pressure. Stress is basically what kills quality of life. What is stress caused by? Well, we know relationships. We know too much pressure on ourselves financially, emotionally, a feeling of never getting ahead. And I was talking to my mom today. Example, again, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, and she was getting ready to cook food for a sibling that she wasn't sure when she was going to be home, who she was going to bring, and it's just a whole day of anxiety and stress. And when she called me, I felt the stress of her holiday, and I don't miss that. After 3 years living in my car, throwing out everything I own other than one bag, do I miss my old life? No. No, I don't. I mean, there's a season for everything. There's a season, to build your career. Maybe if you want to have a house. I feel I dodged a bullet by not having a family. I do. And I don't mean that meanly if anybody loves having a family and loves having kids, but I think I dodged a bullet with that. Um, but I don't think even if, one day I would get a home base or get an RV, I don't think I would ever go back. I don't think I would ever go back to quote unquote the normal life or the conforming life because it's just too much stress and it's just not enough enjoyment. Because you do look at your life, especially as you get older. And I think another milestone is I think I got over a midlife crisis. I think a midlife crisis is you realize you're halfway through your life. You may come to the realization that you started to build your life based on society expectation, peers expectation. And they say, wait a minute, what about me? I've got maybe different dreams than what was expected of me or what was kind of like put on me. And so, you wake up midlife and you start to have to consciously re-engineer your life, redesign your life, because you're an engineer. Even if you work at Walmart, you're an engineer. What are you an engineer of? Your life. You can change your life. You can design your life. You can make your life less stressful. But it's going to take some work. It's very mentally challenging to live the simple life in the beginning because you have to reprogram your life. And it starts with separating yourself from everything that you spent years acquiring and building. And thus comes in the storage unit. The storage unit is a graveyard for the stuff that you don't use. Now, shout out to my guy Milano. He has a business and he has a storage unit. And shout out to anyone who wants a storage unit. Because, again, everyone has their own individual journey. This is just me sharing. But I think, in life, 70% of the economy is based on consumerism, buying stuff. And most of your life, you're going to spend working, having money to buy stuff. Now, I think today what I kind of saw in society was a lot of things were closed because it's Christmas and a lot of businesses aren't open. If every day there was no businesses open and there was no transactions, I think no one would be happy. I think the masses would be unhappy in society. So I don't think the answer is no one works. I don't think that's the answer. Maybe you work less because you live on less. Maybe you work a more inspiring job because you don't have the high demands to pay for bills that you're living above your means. So I think that's wisdom. Redesigning your life so maybe you could work less and maybe you can work jobs that are more inspiring to you, and maybe you don't have to get laid off or you don't have to worry every time there's a layoff. It's all wisdom because that's less stress. Just because you can afford a house on a 30-year mortgage and you get approved for it does not mean it's your best life. Because the simple life is saying, I determine what my best life is, not a banker who can approve me for a loan. Sometimes you actually have to reject yourself from a loan. Meaning that, look, I could go to a RV lot. I can get a approved loan for a $100,000 RV. I could go to a bank and get approved for a 30-year mortgage. But that doesn't mean that's going to be my best life. Because that's going to lock me into a certain life that society is saying that, yeah, you can afford it if you live by my rules. Like I've often shared with you guys, like every time you accept something, it comes with terms and conditions. Every time you deny yourself and then you only take on something if it's below your means and it's not too stressful, you live on your terms. Like I said, there was a season of my life too that I even got very involved in a church, and it was a blessing and it was a help. But that's also a burden. A lot of people, it's Christmas today and they worked for their church voluntarily. There's a season that will bless you. And then there's a season that's a burden. Because your time, just like your money, just like your energy, it's all resources. It's all something that either creates stress or creates joy. What did I do today on Christmas? I woke up at 7 o'clock at a truck stop. It was peaceful too. There was not too many people there. I went to Starbucks because Starbucks was open. I had a coffee. I looked online. I just relaxed for about an hour. I did a regular video. I try to do one video a day. That's a creative side thing that I like to do. Then I did laundry. That's right. I love to drive. Good to see you. I did laundry. Had to wash my bed sheets. When you live on the road in your car, van, or even RV, you should wash your bedding every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, you should wash your bedding. Why? Because you're going to get dust and mites. And so, again, hygiene on the road is important. So the simple life, right, it still has chores. Okay. But like when I did my laundry today, I am not responsible for the washer and dryer, right? I don't have to do the maintenance for that. I'm not responsible for the water bill. I'm not responsible for cleaning the dryer vent once a year, which I had to do when I had a condo. So I go there, a 24/7 laundromat on my time, on my terms, and I don't have to do the maintenance. What's the difference between the simple life and a conforming life? Is a regular life, a conforming society life, is you have to do all the maintenance. Okay. Now, sometimes if you rent, you don't have to do all the maintenance, but definitely if you own, you do. So for me, again, this is only me expressing my life and trying to connect with similar people. For me, maintenance equals stress. No maintenance equals no stress. And that's why I'm even cautious, with upgrading my vehicle, because I know I'll gain some comfort, but I know I'll also gain some maintenance and stress there. So, I just did my laundry at my own thing, folded my clothes, did what I needed to do. And in the laundry, they had a bathroom, they had free Wi-Fi. Just dealing with your internet provider in your house is stressful. Have you ever tried to call your internet provider after the promotional year is up? Like they'll say the first year you'll get internet for $39.99. And then before you know it, it goes up and up and up. And you're just like, these guys are nickel and diming me. Does that matter? No. Look, you could probably afford an extra $10, $20 and they know that. That's why they charge you that. They know you can afford a little bit more. But you just say, look, I just got a 2% raise. Now I have to spend it on, internet. And that just annoys you. Property taxes go up. Rent goes up. But not just money, time, right? Not just money, time. So what did I do with my extra time today? Well, I didn't spend my extra time arguing with my siblings about who's going to come to dinner at what time. I didn't spend my extra time cooking for someone that I don't know if they're going to be here or not, and I don't have to wait for them to get dressed. I didn't spend my time waiting on anyone else. I spent my extra time after I did some chores at the beach. Did I enjoy that? I enjoyed that thoroughly. I fully submersed in the Atlantic Ocean. There was a heavy waves today. It was 83 degrees, sunny. There was some clouds at the end of the day in Florida. And I went for a walk in a beach park. Was that a conforming regular life on Christmas Day? Did I have to coordinate going to a family member's house, giving gifts as a sign of love? Again, this is not for children. For children, they should go through that process. This is for me as an adult. But I don't want to play that game as an adult. And I don't want to then, after my family member's house, then I got to go to like my friend's house, and I got to go to my lover's house. It's too much stress. And tomorrow's back to work. So then before you know it, it's like, you never catch your breath. So the simple life is you're breathing easier because you have less stress. Milano adopted this lifestyle a while ago. He lives in his RV down in Miami. And, he worked hard his whole life. He migrated here from Cuba. He went to, I think, Virginia. He went to a couple different states. And he found for him is just like, look, live below my means, live a good life. He's down in Miami, just doing the best he can. And, he even made it to Social Security, and he still works on the side. But every time I talk to him, it's not the stressful life. I could tell that he's at peace to a certain degree. Now, is there no stress in life? There's always going to be some stress, always, because life is a little bit, again, anything can go wrong at any time. But the less stuff you have, the less stress you have. Thus, the more quality of life you have. So Milano lived in California, Virginia, DC, and Maryland. Okay, I've been to all those places except California. Thank you, Milano. Thank you for everyone, too, leaving those live comments. I'm going to read them all. Just want to share my thoughts here in this opening. But guys, look, this is one of my happiest, most peaceful Christmases. I spent time with no one. Was I lonely? No. And I think the simple life is learning to love and be by yourself and not just apathy. Great to see you. Great to see you, apathy. I know it's got to be cold in Massachusetts. I can't wait to read your comment. Hang in there. I know you got a question. But what I can tell you is, look, you have to learn. It's part of the simple life is don't start with your stuff. Start with your relationships, guys, and just minimize family members and friends. The ones who love you and want you to be happy and healthy, they'll understand that you need to go on a journey. They'll understand that you need to go on a journey. If they don't understand that, then they have to take a back seat to your well-being. The simple life is anything that is not good for me, relationship, business, whatever, if it's not good for me, it has to take a back seat until I can get well. And if it can't wait, then it's got to get eliminated. And when it comes to downsizing materialistic things, you have to commit. Because that's why I always tell you, like, what's the first step to downsizing? It is not getting an organizer. It's not getting an organizer for your closet. It's getting a 3mm trash bag and throwing stuff out. I think if you have a storage unit, I think you're clinging to your past. There's some exceptions. Guys, live light, travel light, be the light. There's part of life that's spiritual, certainly physical. You got to take care of yourself. And I think mentally, when you don't have a lot of stress, you got more time to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, and every other way. So what you're trying to do is free up some of your time, free up some of your resources, and free up some of your mental burdens by eliminating the stuff, living below your means financially, okay, so that when you work, you actually see net income and you can actually have a savings account, and every paycheck, your savings account can go up. Or if you want to risk some, whatever. But it's good to work and then see your paycheck. When you're working, like 70% of Americans, and you're just paying your bills, it's great that you're working and being productive. You should get a pat on the back. But I also don't want you to, you're getting a pat on the back because you're being productive, but you're also stabbing yourself in the side by killing yourself, by working just to support stuff. You know what I mean? Work to enjoy the fruits of your labor. That will decrease stress and increase joy. What's your best life? I'm trying to give you some mathematical equations so that you can, art and science, art and science. So the science of life is less stress plus more joy equals your best life. What's the mathematical formula for the art form of life? Less stress, more joy equals your best life. So, underneath the branch of that equation is, well, what's less stress? Less stress is less materialistic stuff. It's less bills. It's less relationships. It's less obligations. It's less volunteering. So, a lot of times we think the simple life is maybe I should volunteer at a homeless shelter or at a church. And I did those things for many years. But what I can tell you is that's not it. That's almost like an escape from you having to do the work of your life. And I've seen that many times. Like I said, I grew up with drug addicts in my family. My mother's an enabler. She's a loving woman. So a lot of people want to work on their spouse or work on their kids or work on the church or work on a homeless person because it's easier for them to volunteer their time to help someone else rather than say, you know what, I'm going to get my physical, mental, and well-being in order so that I can be an example. And then if you want, go out and help other people with your extra time. So many times, volunteering in a soup kitchen or donating a stuffed animal, in a toy drive, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's also not the real thing. The real thing is for you to really look at your life, inventory your life, so that you can get away from the stress, not just with a high of helping someone else, but with a long-term lifestyle change to help yourself so that you can be an example and that you can endure the years of your life with a level of joy, not fake joy, not joy where you have to hear a gospel song when you walk into church just to have hope. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But there's a joy that's beyond just a gospel song. There's a joy that when you walk, you glow, you feel happy. That's joy. That's not artificial. That's a real joy. That's like being the church in the world. If you really feel joy, when you're at an all-night gas station, you know what I mean? That's joy, not just joy because you're in a church with Kanye West singing. You actually happy. And I've told you, I've made videos that I hate life. I could see, I made a video called I Hate Life. I get people commenting all the time. A guy commented on today, sometimes he wants to kill people. He's in a rage. I understand that mind. I do. But I'm trying to tell you that there's different people with different mindsets for different reasons. I can't speak to all of them. But some of that is because they're avoiding doing the work of their life. And you have to get in a support system. You have to change your diet. You have to change the way you live your life. If you don't, the rage and the fury only get worse. Okay, how do you put out the fire? Through self-care. How do you put out the fire? Through self-care. There's no other way. Now, you're going to need help to understand that. But you can feel joy again. When you get out of a bad relationship, like I say, someone messaged me the other night. They said, Sam, he's in a relationship with some girl stringing him along. What should he do? I said, you should change your number, and every night you should go for a walk and cry for an hour. That's what I did. And eventually, after a year or so, you feel better. Why? Because you moved on with your life and you didn't try to avoid the pain. You just moved forward. What do you do when you get laid off? You have to move forward. Someone commented on that video today. Why? Because if you stay still, if you sit down, the world keeps kicking you and the stress goes up. So guys, we're going to go into all live comments, but I'm sharing with you ways that you redesign your life for less stress. No stress, the simple life, downsizing, living below your means, less relationships, less volunteering, more passion. What does the world need? More passion. What does, really the church need? More people that are actually joyful, real joy. Because they actually are inspired by their life. They're inspired by where they live. They're inspired by their lifestyle. Guys, I still get inspired about this simple life. You know what I mean? And I'm still very much excited that I don't have a lot to take care of. That excites me. And, even today when I was at the laundromat, I say, everything I have is here. And it's not a lot of stuff. Everything I own is in this car. It's great. Now, again, one day I get an RV or even a little home base, maybe. But I want to express and share with you that the simple life is a pathway. It's a conduit to your best life. You're going to define it a little bit different than me, just like everyone else does, but less is more. Start now. Refine it as you go. Those who can't understand you, they shouldn't be in your life, at least not for this season. If they can hold on until you get it together, that's great. If they can't, you have to walk a level of the journey alone. All right, guys. I appreciate all live comments. We're going to read them now. I think we got some good people in here tonight, guys. Click that thumbs up button. Share the video. Subscribe if you're not. I'll roll down my window. We're going to go all live comments right now. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for the love. All right. Let's go to all live comments, man. We got some good ones in here tonight. Chosen my guy. What's up, Sam? What's up to you? Moji Mean. Shout out to Albany, New York. Good to see you, Moji Mean. Milano, what's up, man? Milano, I think gas right now is $2.39 a gallon for regular in South Florida. What's that around you? I know you go to Costco, so you got a little cheaper. Woohoo, Merry Xmas, brother. Same to you, brother. Shout out to Detroit. What's gas up there? Juliana, hey, Juliana. Hand wave emoji to you. Appreciate you. Ryan B, happy holidays to everyone. Yes, happy holidays, whatever anyone celebrates. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or nothing. If you're atheist, shout out to you. Love and respect. Marin, thumbs up. Marin, 3 hearts, 3 palm trees. Happy holidays. Same to you, Marin. Love to you. Shout out to Southwest Florida. Shout out to Senable Island, home of the high tax when you cross that bridge. Brandon, hey, Sam. Merry Xmas. Same to you. Thank you, Brandon. Marin, it's not being a Scrooge to examine the difference between needs and wants. I agree. Know thyself is a waste of time. Well, what I would tell you guys is start at the bare minimum, okay? Start at the basic essentials. You can always go to Walmart and add something. You can always go on to Starbucks and start up a conversation. You can always add things to your life. It's very hard to get out of things. Very hard to get out of relationships. Very hard to get out of mortgages. Very hard to get out of long-term loans. Easy to add them. So, less is more. I love to draw. Shout out to you, Yvette. Love to you. Simplicity is a good thing. It's a blessing. I really do believe that, and love to you, Yvette. I hope your health is doing well, and I hope you're doing well. Keep pushing forward on your journey. Your passion matters. Your passion matters. It does. Good to see you. I love to drive. Luke, positivity. Merry Christmas, Sam. Yeah, a lot of, we got the Christmas tree emojis, some gifts, and 4 Santas. Appreciate you, man. Luke, hope you had a blessed day. It was pretty good, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Full of Florida sun, it was. 83 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny. A little bit of clouds at the end, but I got fully submerged in the Atlantic Ocean. It felt good. Luke, today was a pleasant, peaceful Christmas. Well, that's good because I know last year was a tough one for you. That in itself is a blessing. Well, amen. Luke, you're pushing forward because I remember last year there was a lot of stress with Christmas. It was, I know you got a tough relationship with your mother and her new boyfriend, but see, you're moving on with your life, and, and that's what you have to do, guys, because, life is meant to be lived forward. We can't go backwards, and we can't change people. We can only change ourselves. Don't stress out trying to change people. Focus on yourself. Lala, Merry Christmas, Nomad. Best friend. Well, same to you. Happy New Year. Same thing. And back scratcher. Good job, Lila. Thank you for that. Juan, what's up, man? Good evening, Sam. Palm tree and sunglass face. Thank you. It's still daylight here in Texas. Well, God bless you in Texas, man. I'm not mad at that. I currently live in an RV. Well, thumbs up to the simple life. And it's definitely different than living in a house. Definitely. Or an apartment. I totally agree. Much more simple. In many aspects, it is. But I definitely save much more money. You can. Now, look. What's your biggest expense living on the road? Food and gas. Food and gas. Now, if you have an RV, you can cut down on food because you can cook in your RV. And obviously if you have the 1,000 Trails camping pass, or if you have a cheap RV park, but what I like about the simple life or living in an RV is less maintenance. I don't want to do the lawn. I don't want to worry about a roof. I don't want to worry about siding. I want to worry about one thing, my vehicle or my RV or whatever it would be, and keep it simple. Juliana says, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Leonardo da Vinci? Well, hey, I know Leonardo DiCaprio, he got a lot of girls, so Leonardo da Vinci got to be somewhat right. Milano. Girlfriend, oh yeah, California, Virginia, D.C., Maryland. That's all the places he lived. He migrated here from Cuba. Now he's in Miami, living a dream. Milano, keep making it happen. Apathy, I miss you. Shout out to Massachusetts. Let's see what Apathy got to say. Hey, Sam. It's good to see you. It's a blessing to see you, Apathy. I'm glad you're still with me. Sometimes I worry about that person left me, but I want you to leave me if it's not good for you, because I want everyone to live their best life. So Apathy says, hey, Sam, it's good to see you. A friend of mine is very sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Health is wealth, and about to be homeless. Okay. Any advice? It is better to be homeless in Florida. All the shelters are packed, and she's very sick. Well, now look, there's a difference between being homeless and destitute. So homeless simply means you don't have a home. Destitute means you don't have a job, or you can't work, and you may have like a physical illness. So if they're destitute and they can't work, or they don't want to work, then they have to go where they can get the most social resources. And that may not be Florida. It may be like California. They have to look at maybe the states that have the most type of subsidies for their life. So it's, Florida is only good. Anywhere, look, and no matter where they live, whether it's California, Florida, or Massachusetts, if you can't work, if they're sick, and if they're not taking care of themselves, their life is going to be crappy, period. Why? Because I don't want to lie to them. It's just the way life is. You have to do the work of your life. Now, if you can't control that, if you're very sick, then again, you just need to go somewhere where you can get well. But Florida will not make them well. Florida will not get their health together. Florida will not, if they don't have a job, it'll be even worse. They'll be sweating and going through hurricanes. So there's only so much you can do, Apathy. So I would direct them to social services. You are not social services. You have to work on your own life. Don't try to save them. Try to help them by saying, look, like if someone drowns in the ocean, what do? You call the lifeguard. Why? Because that's their profession. If someone approaches you and, they're causing you a problem, what should you do is you should call the authorities. Why? Because that's why we pay the cops, to protect and serve. So don't take things within your own hands trying to fix society, because we have things in society, whether they're social programs, whether they're police officers, whether they're lifeguards, to help people in that situation. And what I've learned growing up with people in my family on government assistance and with drug problems and health problems is many times they're nasty. They have a sad life, but there's nothing you can do because they don't want to do any work of their life. Not all the time, but I've worked with the homeless. I've had people in my family like that. And what I could tell you to do is basically how I just broke it down. Good question. Well, yep, good question, no Apathy, and I hope you're doing well. Jesse, oh, hey, Jesse. Happy holidays. Same to you. Congrats on being a nomad for 3 years. I feel good about that. Your tenacity is highly respected. Guys, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Jesse. You have to have a level of tenacity. And what do you do if you want to be a YouTuber? Upload every day, or at least on a consistent basis. What do you do if you want to have income? Go to your job every day, or at least on a consistent basis. There's been people in Massachusetts that they say, hey, look, how do I get to Florida? I said, look, if you got no other job, just go to Walmart. If you can pass a drug test, you can work at Walmart. Be a greeter. Just say, hello, how you doing? Okay. So if you go to Walmart and if you work for a year straight and you show up pretty much every day, you can get a job transfer to any Walmart in Florida. So your dreams don't work if you don't work. That's tenacity. Your dreams don't work if you don't work. That's tenacity. Love and respect. Pray for them too, hospital. Ryan B. I like the way you analyze your life decisions. Thank you for the positive comment. And how you keep in mind the other ways of life could be if you made different decisions. That's right. Good job for noticing that. Thank you, Ryan. Always envision things past the initial high. Like I look at an RV and I don't just say, all right, that's going to give me air conditioning, heating. Good to see you, Gloria. Thank you for the love today, Gloria. Love to you. Thank you for sharing this comment. She says 211 is a phone number to help find what non-emergency services are available locally. Gloria, great comment. I didn't know that. So there you go too, Apathy. It's another resource. But always look past the initial high. So if you were going to buy an RV or even if, look, you were going to sell your house and move in your car, you have to look past, all right, well, yeah, now I don't have a mortgage. Great, I'm going to live in my car. Okay. Have you envisioned yourself sleeping in your car every night and how you're going to take a shower in a gym? And, have you envisioned the downside? And the same thing with like buying something. Like, all right, you're going to buy an RV. Now you're going to have heating, cooling, and a bed and a refrigerator. So great, but have you looked past beyond that and the fact that now you're going to have higher gas costs, higher maintenance costs, and you're going to have to campground every night? Look past the initial either high or low of the decision and then envision yourself long term. That's why most people don't keep the same car or the same RV after 3 to 5 years. Most people get divorced after 8 years. Why? Because they only see the initial rush of the benefit of their decision. They don't play it all out in their mind. And that's why statistics show if you get married before 25, I think the divorce rate goes up like 80%. But if you get married after 30, it goes down. Why? Because as you get older, you know yourself more, and you hopefully a mature mind will play out the decision rather than just making an emotional decision. That's true. Milano, Sammy, I was in a station in Germany, Army. I didn't know you were in the Army. From 1979 to 1981. Well, thank you for your service. Track vehicle mechanic. Milano, you're a stand-up guy, man. You've been a positive blessing in my life. I appreciate you. Apathy. Good to see you, Sam. It's a blessing to see you, Apathy. You did the right thing by selling your condo. Thank you. I really feel I did. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Always appreciate your advice. You are wise, my friend. Well, you are a compassionate, loving person. I appreciate all those emojis. Do I regret selling my house? No. Do I feel like I left too much comfort and safety behind? No. Why? The number one reason is because I didn't want to live in New Jersey, okay? And I think when you are at a certain point in life, you realize that if you don't enjoy where you live, why are you working? Why are you living? You got to have some passion about your environment. And like I tell you, if you live in a state that you're not inspired by, or if you live in a bad area with high poverty and high crime, your number one job should be to get into an environment that inspires you. Well, it doesn't have to be in your car. It could be in a smaller apartment or just a better neighborhood. But that's got to be a goal. Does that goal happen overnight? No. And how do you get to that goal? Well, number one is nothing works if you don't work. So if you don't work, there's not much advice anyone can give you. There's social programs out there, but like I've shared with you guys, every time you accept a social program, you live life on their terms. I know family members on them. You don't live wherever you want, whenever you want, and dictate. They dictate to you. So again, if you're destitute, if you have an illness and you can't work, then I understand. But if you can control it, control it. Why? Because look, we all need help, and it's a blessing to have people tip you and encourage you, but you have to do the heavy lifting of your life. And the heavy lifting of my life was saying, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't like this area anymore. I have to start making decisions. And that's what I did, and that's what you can do too. It may not be the same path as me, but there's a path for you. And it starts with just simplifying your life, okay? Decreasing the stress, and that's going to increase your mental health and your financial health. And then you go into a direction that you want to go, and then you stay flexible to adapt. Good job. Katie. Hey, Sam. Hello to you. You are super inspiring. Thank you. I have a quick question. Okay. My boyfriend wants to have kids really bad, and I don't. Should I break up with him? I still love him, and it's a hard to convince him bad idea. Yes, you should break up with him and change your number and never keep him as a friend because you get lonely and you still want his texts. If you keep his number and if you keep him in your life, you are just as bad as him. It takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. So basically, why do I say that? Because those are two completely different lifestyle directions. A lifestyle with kids is a completely different lifestyle than without kids. He's not wrong for that, but you are wrong if you stay in his life because he doesn't want and once you're intimate with someone, you cannot go back to just background friends. You'll destroy yourself and he'll destroy himself. So I love you. I appreciate the question. It's a great question. The bottom line is you're going to feel a year of pain and a year of, did I make the right decision? And there's no guarantee you're going to make the right decision. But in my opinion, yeah, cut off ties, change your number, never talk to him again. Will you do that? That's going to be very hard. I don't want to speak any negativity. It's going to be very hard. So, but if you don't, what's going to happen is 10, 15 years from now, you're going to end up in a life and you're going to say, I lost myself. You're going to say, I lost myself, and then you're going to ask for a divorce because you lost yourself. And then you're going to go through 3 years of devastation. And then you're going to be in your 50s or 60s, and then you're going to have the idea to finally live life on your terms. But the reality is the energy and the passion it takes to do that is very hard. And I'm not going to say it's impossible, but you have to decide, how do you want to spend your life? How do you want to spend your time? Your time and your energy is a resource. His time and his energy wants to be focused on building a family. Your time and your energy wants to either be focused on yourself and your own goals. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you bring a kid into this world, you don't get to decide solely what you want. You're responsible for a child. And so don't be irresponsible. Love to you. Good question. Luke, if you had 3 wishes going into the new year, what would it be for life? Well, it'd be like the lottery. I'd win for life. So my first wish would be I had unlimited wishes. You know, it's like if I could win any scratch off, what would it be? I win $1,000 a day the rest of my life. So it'd be unlimited wishes. But look, 3 things that you want in life. Your health is number 1. Your health. That means you're going to have to eat better, though. That means you're going to have to cut out unhealthy relationships, and it means you're going to have to live simply. So that's kind of the three thing scenario. Katie, thank you for understanding. Good question, Luke and Katie. Lila, internet costs $300 per month. Well, damn. And $360 a year. Well, for me, it costs zero. I mean, I have internet on my phone, but there's free Wi-Fi at Starbucks, at all-night gas stations, everywhere. Richard, what's up, man? I'm moving down there. Well, Richard, best of luck to you, and best of luck on your journey, man. Thank you for sharing. Juan, I get to work out and hit that park a few blocks away from my cardio. Okay. This is the life. This life is much more simple. Yep, guys, when you have a simpler life, you can do more things that inspire you. When you have less people in your life, you don't have to answer to people. And when you have less stuff, you don't have to go work a side job. For many years, when I had a house, I had 2 mortgages because I took out a second loan on my house. I had 2 cars. I was working 2 jobs to keep up with a lifestyle. It was out of control. So you got to make decisions. And then he goes, I personally think it gives you the freedom to travel. Yeah, that's one thing you can do with your resources, often through states and countries. Look, when you live simple and you live light, you got more resources. You can do more things. That's true. Milano, Sam, you know about stress. Yeah, Sammy, stress. Yep, it's self-inflicted. Good comment. We inflict stress on ourselves, he says. Get in things we regret later on in life. Excellent comment. And that's what I said to Katie. If she continues in a relationship that she knows the guy wants something different, she's not evil. He's not evil. But what she's doing is she's going to self-inflict stress on her life. And I've done that. Thank God I dodged a bullet. And that's why I tell you guys, dodge the bullets, man. And don't even be around those type of things flying. So a lot of our stress in America, especially, is self-inflicted because we got a lot of opportunity. Look, most of us are never going to be a millionaire. But guys, if you live simple, you don't have to be a millionaire to enjoy life. If you don't have a lot of unhealthy relationships, guys, you don't need a lot to enjoy life. But you have to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you're going to look for immediate gratification through unhealthy things. That's true. Ryan B, I was able to save 75% of my last paycheck. That's awesome, man. After taxes. Man, that's awesome. Felt great. You should. And reminds me of why I lived a simple life on that. Tattoo that on your back, man. Get a back tattoo, man. And tell them you want that in bold letters, all right? Because that's one of the best comments of the year, man. Inspired me, man. Milano, I like that 75%, guys. Guys, I love that 75%, man. That's awesome. Apathy. Sam, she goes, Sam, I am still trying to sell my house. Okay, I know it's not easy. It's very painful. That's why I tell you guys, if you know you're not in the house in the state you want to live, sell as early as possible. Why? Because the older you get, the harder that process is. It's very mentally draining to have people come through your house, to separate yourself from your house, to be scared that you don't know where you're going to go. It's like getting a divorce. It's devastating. So don't wait too long. And then she goes, curious, should I just sell it with a huge loss or let them foreclose on it? I'm not well and I'm worried. Can't even help my friend out. Well, then you have a whole other set of issues than selling your house. If you're not in financially good shape, you have to ask yourself then, if you sell your house, what are you going to do? Because even if you live in your car or RV, you need money. So the question would be, if you know, like if you could sell your house tomorrow for a loss, do you have enough money to pay for that loss and to either rent an apartment on a smaller level or live on the road? And have you calculated a budget where, based on your income, I think you're on disability, based on your disability, like, can you, again, what do I think you need to live on the road without being destitute? I think you need $2,000 a month. I think some people have messaged me. I met a young man. He messaged me. He said he makes $1,000 a month. He's able to get by, but he's a young man in good shape and good health. So, and that's just getting by. So, again, you have to, if you're living on a disability or a social program, there's no shame in that if you're really disabled, but I have to be honest with you. Those are very limited resources. And then you have to ask yourself, the nomadic life is a lot of movement. So you may be better off in an apartment. So then you have to figure out what area can you get an apartment based on your income and still make ends meet. So that I would be lying to you and hurting you if I just told you selling your house fixes your problems. That doesn't. Because you have to figure out what your budget is and how you can have some type of shelter, whether it's an apartment, another house, or living in a car, and still have enough and still live a lifestyle that's healthy for you. Because if you're an older woman, you have to be honest with yourself. I mean, can you really handle living on the road? And you may be able to. There's older women doing it, but you have to really put the math down on paper. Like, what's my monthly income? What are my expenses going to be? Am I going to stay at campgrounds? Am I going to get the 1,000 Trails Pass? Have I ever been to a campground? And if you're sick where you can't even camp, then I think you should look for an apartment, even if it's a subsidized. And then maybe see if you can get an apartment in a state, even if it's subsidized, in a state that you feel a little bit more inspired. But if you're not well, don't try to help your friend. Just direct your friend, like Gloria mentioned, to a service. But you have to work on your own life, because if not, if you jump in a ditch to help someone else, it won't help them. It just means now there's two people in a ditch, and the person who has to help it has to help two people instead of one. So just remember that, guys. It's like, if you're in an airplane and it goes down, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help the person next to you, or else you're both going to die. So, really look at your life. That's what I would say. Love to you, apathy. Let's take a hydration break, guys. I appreciate these comments and good comments tonight, guys. Brandon, hey, Sam. I hung around after this after party and sitting at a table. This is a disaster. And sitting at a table with 5 other people playing Uno. Oh my God. It was super stressful. I felt the stress just reading the comment, man. Do you have any experience with social anxiety? Well, I feel it, but I know how to navigate through it. Like God has allowed me to see the extremes in life. Like I've been anorexic. I've been obese. I understand the social disorder that some people suffer with because I feel the pain, but I also understand how to navigate around people and be social. So you know what I mean? I've been very religious and I've been very non-religious. I understand the extremes of the mind. So, but the bottom line is you have to say, okay, this isn't good for me. So I can no longer just accept an invitation to someone's house to play Uno because it pacifies them and it gives me an instant high if I got something to do. I actually have to have a game plan for my own life, and I have to be willing to tell people no. Why? Because it's the best for me. And if people can't accept that, then it is what it is. And then with my free time, I'm not idle. Because if you just have all this time and then you're just idle sitting in your car, sitting in your house, and you're not walking, you're not going to the gym, you're not doing laundry, you're doing that self-inflicted stress. So there's Uno stress with other people, social anxiety stress, and then there's individual self-inflicted stress. How do you relieve stress? Well, go for a walk, do something productive, do laundry, eat healthy. So it's not just about cutting off the people that are playing Uno. It's also about looking at your own life and saying, no, I could go for a walk right now. And that's how you improve your life. Good job. Jose, Merry Christmas, Sam. Well, same to you. Thank you. Ryan B. Thanks, Milano 100. Milano says, okay, gas gas in Miami at the local Costco is $2.22 for regular. Thumbs up. Chosen by God. Do you drink faucet water or bottled water? I do not drink faucet water. Like gas station, I'll get free water. They give you free water. At Starbucks, when I get a coffee, they'll give you free water. So that's kind of how I navigate the water situation. I usually don't buy it. I either get free water at the gas station out of the fountain, which is filtered, or Starbucks free water. So that's how I navigate around the water. When I lived in a house, I would buy like 25-pack case of water. It cost me like $20 a week. So guys, click the thumbs up button if you like free water, man. That's filtered. That's not faucet. I like that. And at Planet Fitness, I wash my mouth with faucet water when I brush my teeth. But I don't pay for the water bill. I just pay the $21 a month. Shout out to the Nomad life, man. I'm living that simple life. I like it. Oh, damn. Times in California, $3.09 for regular. Well, they got higher paying jobs, but they got higher gas, man. Tom, what was the temperature in California today, man? Lila says, get Medicaid insurance, retractable, pay tax. Okay. Juliano, I read that. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Well, guys, I got no underwear on. It don't get more sophisticated than this. Yeah, we're going to put that on a t-shirt. Somebody put that in a live comment. Put, I got no underwear on. It don't get more sophisticated than that. And then put like Inspirational Nomad said that. I don't know. That may be a long thing to type out, but that'd be worth it. Lila. No, man, Merry Christmas. Well, thank you. Same to you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, the hashtag no underwear. Yes. Zelda. Hey, Zelda. Shout out to South Florida. Hey, Sam, Merry Christmas. Well, put a palm tree in there for all of our Floridians. I love it. Donna J, that's another Floridian. Shout out to no state income tax. If you're paying no state income tax, Hashtag the state you live and no state income tax. Shout out to Texas. Don and Jana. Merry Christmas, Sam. Don in Melbourne, Florida. Shout out to Melbourne, Florida. Have a great evening, my friend. Well, Don, shout out to you. One of my first Floridian friends is Karen. I probably made her upset. I hope I didn't. I love Karen. Karen was from Melbourne. I almost bought a condo when I first looked at moving to Florida in Melbourne off Dairy Road. It was called Sun Siesta Walk Townhome Community. So I don't know if you know where Dairy Road is in Sunset Walk Community, but I almost bought a townhouse there when they were going through foreclosures. It was like $70,000 or so. Now that same townhouse worth $170,000. But I'm glad I didn't buy that. Why? Because for me, I wanted to go a little bit further south in Florida. I didn't realize that at the time. That's why I tell you guys, if you're moving from another state to Florida, don't buy anything for at least the first year, because Florida is a big state. And just like Melbourne Beach compared to like Boca Raton, they're both great. They got different things to offer. But you have to visit them to understand how they're different. But Melbourne's a great area. And they got good, what type of job could you get in Melbourne? Well, they got Harris. Harris is a defense contract company. You can be like an engineer. Not necessarily like an engineer, but you could just be like, there's different jobs, guys. But shout out to Melbourne, man. And of course, they got Cape Canaveral right there with the space station and SpaceX. Jason, Merry Christmas, Sam. Living a good life. It's the simple life. Stay positive. Same to you. Mano, forgive me if I'm saying the right one. Feliz Navidad. Well, damn it. Appreciate that. Merry Christmas from Seville, Sam. Well, same to you. Sam, my heart is with you. Thank you. All I can tell you is love to you, man. Feliz Navidad, man. Shout out to all my Latino milfs down here in South Florida. I got a special place in my heart. Dev. Hey, how are you, man? I'm pretty positive. Merry Christmas. Same to you, bro. Appreciate that, Dev. Love to you. Luke, will 2020 be the year we see Sam rocking a new automobile or Class B RV? That would be kind of different. You go live in your new whip, especially if you got a Class B. It's possible. I came this close last year to buying that Corrado Axiom. Do I regret doing it? Not doing it? No, I don't. Sometimes I did, but no, I don't. I don't know. It's close. But look, next year, I'll officially have my Jeep paid off for it. I got a few more payments. So I've had my Jeep for 4 years. I have 150,000 miles on it. I'm not keen on going into a bunch of more payments. Your savings account is your biggest financial asset in a time of bad times, so I don't want to touch savings. And what I can tell you is this. I have no immediate need to get another vehicle. The only thing I have to solve is when it becomes summer again, that's when either I got to figure out what I'm going to do with air conditioning, whether I'm going to get a Class B or travel trailer. I'm not sure yet. Or if I'm just going to go back up north and do some camping up there to avoid the hot summer of Florida. I don't know. I will do videos about it. I'll document it. It's possible that I could upgrade my vehicle. It's possible. But I just want to share with you guys, it's 3 years now I've been living full-time in my car with no home base. I started with the car I had. I did not buy a new car. I just put my back seats down and my front seat down, and I sleep in my car. I go to the gym to brush my teeth in a shower. And I think you should do that for a while before you purchase a vehicle, because they're very expensive and they're a depreciating asset. But I'm not sure yet, man. But a vehicle will only enhance the simple life I create, because I'm already enjoying life. It's just that, would I like a little bit more comfort? Sometimes I would. Sometimes I wouldn't. I have to figure that out. I'm still playing that out in my mind. Good question. Gloria, thank you again for your love today and appreciation to you. And she goes again, I didn't know this. 211 is the phone number hashtag to help you find what non-emergency services are available. So guys, if you need some type of social assistance, I didn't know this. Cross-reference it, but Gloria is saying 211. A hashtag 211. I didn't know that. Mano, Merry Christmas from Spain. Shout out to Spain, man. God bless you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Shout out to Spain. Juan. Sam, you inspired me. Thank you, man. You inspired me to make better decisions in my life. God bless you. Guys, that's what it's all about. I want you to live your best life, and you can. You don't have to be a millionaire. You simply have to live a simple life and then start at the basics. That way you, like Ryan now, Ryan is living in his Toyota Prius in Utah, okay? He's working. If you don't work, your dreams don't work. If you can. There's some people that are physically, mentally, or some senior citizens, they shouldn't have to work. But I'm talking about if you're young, middle-aged, and able, work. Why? Because like Ryan, if you're living simple and working, he now owns 75% of his income. He doesn't have to pay other bills, and that's wisdom. Jason Ali, I'm sorry I was late in the comments. Ali says, Merry Christmas from the UK. Shout out to you. Jealous of you being in your car for Xmas, away from other humans. It's pretty good. Too much interaction with people wears me out mentally. I can understand that. I do. So what I can tell you is you got to have some social connections or else you will suffer mentally. However, it should be on your terms and your way to some extent. At work, you got to deal with people. But you can control that. You have to start to simplify your life and you have to work, because if you don't work, if you're able, then you can't go live on your own. And when you're living with your parents or if you're living in a shelter, you don't live on your terms. You live on their terms. That's the trade-off. So again, every time you accept assistance, you may have to, but the problem is if your parents help you, if society helps you, there's something in return that you have to comply with. So that's why I tell you guys, to live on your terms, you got to really be assertive, okay, and go after it, okay, within your limitations, okay. Again, if you're elderly, if you have a disability, that, it is what it is, guys. Just do the best you can, but do the best you can. You understand what I'm saying? Good job, Mono. 2020 is the year we live, is the year to live my life. I like that, but in the Spanish version, I'm not mad at that. Live your version of your best life. Put your thumbprint on it. I like that, man. Lila, Trump is total disaster, but don't vote him a psychopath. Well, guys, it's Christmas. Let's not do politics, but I love you, Lila. Let's stay positive tonight. We could do that another night. I love you, Lila. Katie, thank you, Sam. I appreciate you. Prayer emoji to you also. Katie, I know. I didn't really have compassion on how hard it is to get away from an unhealthy relationship till I got in my mid-30s. When I got in my early 30s, I should say, that was the last time I really dated. I dated some woman. I played the game too. I knew what I was getting involved with. It wasn't her fault. I knew what I was getting involved with. And I played the game, and somehow I got sucked in. And I couldn't believe how hard it was for me to separate myself from her. It was amazing. And I never felt that before. And I've been in love before, and shout out to everyone that I've ever been in a relationship with, all positive. But I never felt I don't know why. And so what I can tell you is, it's very hard to detach yourself from unhealthy relationships. Very hard. However, it's either that or suffer the rest of your life. So you got two choices. You either go through the pain of separation or you suffer the rest of your life. Don't suffer. Good job, Lila. Next year, 2020, light show, bigger, better. I like that. You do the Christmas lights. The best on the block. I like that. The Christmas light show. Well, you're productive, okay? So I like that you're productive. You're doing something positive. Good job. Al Illinois, I was praying for you today. Why was I praying for Al Illinois? Because he's got surgery coming up, and he's a positive person. So everyone pray for our brother Al Illinois. And it is a Florida Christmas where it was 83 degrees. I know it's colder up there. But Al Illinois, you got a positive personality. So I pray to the Lord that he looks over you and that you're able to gain your health back. And that, look, when you're sick and in the hospital, which I've been only a few times in my life, then you realize how important it is not to stress over stupid stuff in life and how important the simple stuff is. When you are in physical pain and you're scared, that is a wake-up call to restructure. And that was one of the wake-up calls in my early 30s. I said, I'm going to get my health together, and I don't want to be in this position. I was totally dependent on other people. I hated it. I said, I don't want to live this life. And so, I'm praying for you, man. Backwoods, brother. Shout out to the Northwest, man. I love you all my heart. Al Illinois, I got you, man. Good to see you, Backwoods. And thank you. Backwoods, thank you. I blocked Backwoods at one fall. I was a little bit jumpy. I apologize. And I got to go look at all the blocked people. There's probably a few people I blocked I probably shouldn't. I was a little bit quick on the trigger. So I apologize for that. But I have to be very conscious of my well-being. It's very tough. Look, it's good to be a YouTuber, but it's also very tough because I answer every comment. I read every comment. I'm engaged very heavily, which I'm thankful for, that I even have people that watch me. However, some people in here have expressed, dealing with people is very mentally stressful. There was a guy playing Uno with someone and he was stressed out. So imagine playing Uno with someone that stresses you out. Now imagine you got people with all type of mindsets, some with mental problems, some good, some bad, and they're leaving comments on your page all time of the night. Some are serious, some are trying to trick you, some are like totally out there. So you're trying to process all this and keep your own sanity. That's not easy. So, like, and the trolls sometimes do ruin it for everyone, because the trolls, like, you get a couple trolls, and you're like, I'm not putting up with anything. Because the trolls, sometimes they even come in here and they try to trick you like they're your friend, and then they do something crazy. It's like, man, why would you do that, man? You know what I mean? But that's just their mindset. It's just not rational. That's why I tell you guys, you can never have a rational conversation with someone who's irrational. You can never have a rational conversation with someone who is on drugs. You can never have a rational conversation with someone who has mental problems. It's not because they're evil. It's just because they're not on that level right now, and you just got to avoid them. And so when in doubt, I block. Not because I hate people, but because I grew up with family members on drugs. I see people with mental issues, and I have to take care of my own mental health. Like, I want to be an inspiration. I want to help you guys. But I know, just like I was telling Apathy, I can't help you if I'm not in a good state mentally. So I'm not going to destroy my mental health trying to help someone who isn't working on their own life. I'm not going to do that. So I will try to be an example, try to give an encouraging word and share some principles, but you guys have to put your hand to the plow too, all right? Let's take a hydration break. I appreciate the people in here tonight. Yeah, Tom says $3.09. That's amazing. Yeah, for gas. If I was in California, I'd definitely have a hybrid. Philip, thumbs up. Thank you, Philip. Good to see you. Brianna, hey. Is it worth living in Miami as a young adult? Only if you can secure a job and that's where you want to live. If you visited, Miami's very congested. So you have to look, are you going to live in the heart of the city? Are you going to live in a suburb? And then you have to figure out, have you ever visited there? Because you may not like it there. Like when I was 24, I visited Miami, but it was like for a bachelor party. And I was living a whole different type of life. So, if you go to South Beach versus if you go to like a suburb 45 minutes away from Miami, it's totally different life. So I think you have to visit it. I think you have to see if that's something you may like to live in there. And don't just visit South Beach. Visit suburbs and where you would live. And then ask yourself, what type of job can you get, and secure the job before you move there. And then you've answered your own question. That's what I did in my life. So I can only share what I did. And then you have to answer that question for yourself. Because as a 24-year-old, now you have to be accountable for your decision. That's why it's scary. Because like kind of like if you start to make decisions and fail, it's your fault. However, if you live simply, if you work and you live below your means, you'll always be okay, even if you have to move away or whatever. But if you don't work and if you don't live below your means, you're not living the simple life, you're living the stressful life, and then you're going to be dependent on your parents and everyone else. Now, when you're young, you need more help than others. When I was young, I needed help. But when I was 22, I was living on my own, but I bought a house that was above my means. I borrowed money from my parents, and I was working, though. I worked since I could legally work at 16. I never stopped working. So that's the only thing that has saved me from being bankrupt. If I didn't work, I would be bankrupt and whatever. So, and even when like my career jobs, I got laid off, I worked at pizzerias, I worked doing side jobs. So if you have a physically able body and you have mental capacity to work and you don't work, there's no other answer for you. But that's basically how I would answer the question. Good job. Tom, 39 degrees and rain. Well, damn, man. That's in North California. That is not inspiring, but I love you, brother. You'll be in Florida soon. Come back home. Benjamin, what's up, man? Shout out to Bakersville, California. What's temperature there? Do you find it easier to stay in shape as being a nomad? This is a good question. As compared to when you had a condo? Yes. However, when I had a condo, I was younger. So my metabolism was faster and my muscle tone was faster. So now that I'm 40, basically, I'm still relatively young, but I'm middle-aged. And I think they say after 40, your body, the cells stop reprocreating and your muscle tissue gets less. So I have more time for the gym as a nomad. That's a thumbs up. I got no excuse. However, my body, I don't have as much energy to walk as long or to work out as much. So the main thing is my diet. Thank God that when I was in my 30s and I had my health scare, I got away from obesity and eating unhealthy. Because if you have not reprogrammed yourself to eat healthy, it doesn't matter if you work out or not, your health is going to be a wreck. So the main saving grace is my eating habits, Because especially living as a nomad, your eating habits can go right out the door because you're not going to be able to cook every night. And I don't work out as much as I did when I had a condo because I have less energy and less muscle mass, but I work out more consistently and I maintain a healthy diet, and I'm outdoors more. So I would say from that perspective, that's how I would answer it. Good question. Fill up, hashtag no underwear, 100 emoji. Tony, Merry Christmas, Sam. Same to you. Where are you MILF admiring tonight? Well, South Florida. I try not to give specific places that I'm at, only because I have to keep a level of privacy, but South Florida. So basically, if you ever ask yourself, like sometimes you may ask yourself, like, where's Batman? I need him. And you put like the bat symbol up in the sky. If you ever ask yourself, like, where's Inspirational Nomad? I need him. Just know that I'm somewhere in South Florida, Southeast. And then just know, like, you can watch my live replay and you can get me virtually. But I love you, Tony. Look, if you're in South Florida, there's MILFs everywhere, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Now, if you're in Ocala, Florida, good luck. James, hey Sam, palm tree and island emoji. Thank you, brother. Praying for your rash. Stay healthy and don't share utensils with others. Cameron, got an escort for Christmas. Well, brother, you know I don't want you to destroy your life, but I love you and I want you to do whatever makes you happy. If that's what makes you happy, I love you. But like I'm just saying, that's a road that's going to lead to a lot of heartache down the road. But you have to experience it. Did I date strippers? Yes. Did I have relationships with strippers? Yes. Now, is a stripper legal? Yes. Is an escort illegal if they give you sexual favors for money? Yes. So you can potentially be arrested, and basically you're going to entangle yourself with an unhealthy relationship. However, there's a season of life for everything. I love you. Just be careful. Tony, good job, Cameron. Well, just be careful. Tony, you should have splurged for the Christmas and got two. In my opinion, you should have just watched free porn and masturbated twice. You wouldn't have any urge to go get an escort. If you masturbate twice, you're not going to want to go get an escort, and you just save money and you saved yourself from an unhealthy relationship. But do whatever you want. Come on. It's still time, Tony. All right. Well, I'm not mad. Juliana, my community has been evacuated, really? In the last because of, you must be in California, because of catastrophic wildfires. Fire emoji. At the end of the day, everyone was happy just to get out alive. Well, that's true. Juliano, good comment. Yeah, when you're faced with a tragedy, you're just happy that if you can get out of there with your well-being. And that's the benefit of, living simple. Like now, if you live mobile, that's a huge benefit. Like, what did I do in August when there was a hurricane that Trump said was going to wipe out the entire Florida? I got in my car and I left. So what would you do if there was fires in California? Just get in your car and go. However, if you say, Sam, well, I don't want to live in my car. Well, look, even if you were living in a small house or a small apartment, when you don't have a lot of stuff, you don't want a fire to destroy it, but you're not going to be as stressed. If you have a big house like Kim Kardashian, she hired a whole firefighting team to fight the fires because her stuff is her everything, even though she can afford to replace it. So for me, less stress, less stuff. And when you're dealing with a catastrophe, hurricane, fire, you're not as stressed. It's true. Love to you, Juliana. Nice profile pic. Cameron, calling one now. Cameron, be careful, brother. I love you. Cameron, got to find one. Cameron, the last one cost $300. Well, I'll just say this. When you're looking for trouble, you can always find it, especially if you got money. That's why sometimes money will destroy some people. Like sometimes, like what I've learned growing up with drug addicts and people who do reckless things, if you give them money, it's not going to help them. It's going to destroy their life. Why? Because they're going to take that $300 and they're going to go get their fix, whether it's an illegal prostitute or whether it's a legal drug. So am I saying that I'm better than them and they're wrong? No, I understand we all got crutches. But what I'm trying to tell you is money is not the answer to an unhealthy behavior. Money does not solve unhealthy behavior because the unhealthy behavior will just destroy you quicker. And the more money you have, the more unhealthy behavior. And then you come on my live feed and you say, Sam, I got arrested. My whole life's destroyed. And I say, brother, well, now you got to masturbate in jail. You should have masturbated when you were out in the streets. And I understand that life, brother. Have I visited friends in jail? Yeah. Would I visit you? No, because I'm done doing that. So what I can tell you is be careful. Super chat. Benjamin, Bakersville, California. $2 super chat, guys. Put that on the retirement fund, damn it. Thank you, Benjamin. I appreciate that, man. Let's take a hydration break. Shout out to Bakersville, man. Tony, stay. Oh, man, we're going crazy. I love you guys. Tomasco, what's up, man? Thank you again, Benjamin. Tomasco, Oh, Cameron, $1. Well, I appreciate that. Wait, man, better me than the escort, man, because I'm giving you life-saving advice. The escorts could destroy your life. So, brother, I appreciate the $1, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you to you and Benjamin. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate you, brother. No, I love you, man. I'm just telling you because I love you, man. Thank you. I love you. To Moscow. Some of those videos you make while driving down the highway would look real cool if you were perched in a captain's seat of a motorhome. All right, now. I can imagine you grinning from ear to ear. Thank you, brother. Look, there may come a day for that. There may. So I'm just enjoying this season of simplicity. If I add an RV, would it make or a motorhome, would it make my life too complex? No, I don't think so. But I want to be, like I tell you guys, I practice what I preach. I'm very cautious in making a big decision. I'm closer now than I was 3 years ago. Because when I sold my house and hit my car, guys, I was scared as hell. You know, I was ready for it. I was committed. But I was still living in New Jersey. I was buried in snow. And I know, you know, but I was determined. I had tenacity to get down to Florida. Cameron, thank you, brother. Cameron going to the motorhome fund, man. Thank you, Cameron. Love to you, brother. Love to you, Cameron. Love to Kansas and Bakersville. But, you know, when I first started on the road, look, I was determined. I was scared, though, too. And I didn't want to, look, I had to cut off people because some people gave me a lot of crap for, either they were scared for me or they didn't understand my journey. But I realized that midlife, if I don't change my life and start to make this executive decisions for my life, my father's not, my mother, I'm in control. So, and I also said, look, if I'm not asking you for anything, don't give me shit. I didn't ask anyone for anything. I was working. I still am working. I was doing whatever I had to do. So, like, I couldn't understand why someone would be upset with me. Because, like, I'm not asking you for anything. But maybe they were either scared for me or they didn't understand me. And so when people don't understand stuff, they give you crap. And so, but I was already scared, so I didn't need more pressure on me. Like I told you guys the story, like, when I was younger, Cameron, thank you, brother, for your generosity, man. Thank you, Cameron. When I was younger, when I was in high school, the day before prom, I got in a car accident. My friend was driving. He hit another car. My head went through or cracked the windshield. And so, like, you know, like half my eyebrow went out. I had a scar here. You know, it wasn't, but I remember going to the emergency room. You know, I went to the ambulance, went to the emergency room, and I remember them saying they were going to call my mom. I said, don't call my mom. I said, I'm okay. I want to handle it. Why did I say don't call my mom? Because I already knew, like, the situation was crazy, and I didn't want more stress. And I knew my mom was going to come and she was going to worry about me. I don't want that extra burden. So, like, when I started living in my car, I didn't tell a lot of people. Why? Because it was like the same mindset of when I got in a car accident. I don't need other people, like, being nervous for me. I got it. I appreciate their love, but I don't need any more stress. You understand what I'm saying? So I try to give you guys examples. All right, thank you. Lila. Next year, bigger extreme Christmas lights. I'm not mad at you. 7 plan on 2020, biggest bet on a block. Well, I'm not mad at that. Cameron, thank you again, brother. That's cheap. The lowest they go is 150. I love you, brother. Thank you again, man. Stay positive. Donate. Sam, you should have won the MILF YouTube fam. I probably would. From the Northeast, come down to visit you for the New Year's. I wouldn't be mad at that. Guys, look. I got some MILFs throwing it at me once in a while. Because, look, guys, I got a good personality. There's other people that look better than me. They may be taller than me. They may have this, that. Oh, damn it. Backwoods. $20 super chat. Happy Merry Christmas. Stay woke real. Well, damn it, Backwoods. Thank you. And Al, Illinois, man. Backwoods and Al, Illinois. Guys, man, thank you for your generosity, man. The Christmas love. Cameron, Benjamin, Al, Backwoods, man. Huge blessing. Al, Illinois, thank you for your heart, man. Guys, I'm appreciative, man. I'm thankful. I don't take it for granted. Thank you, man. Thank you. But look, I have opportunities to get into a relationship. I have opportunities just to have casual sex. I certainly have opportunities to pay for sex. I don't do them. Why? Because I've learned through my own life experience that I dodged a bullet by not having kids when I was young. So that was a big... Second is that I realized there's no such thing as getting something without sacrificing something. So if you're in like a friends would benefit relationship, there's an emotional entanglement there for one person or the other. You can't get rid of. And if you pay for it, again, you could possibly get in trouble unless, like, you're in Las Vegas at a ranch. But even then, like, look at Lamar Odom. He was there, totally destroyed his life. So I just analyze life and I say, Sam, look, I'm sexual. I have a sexual drive, but I masturbate. Why? Because it's a way that I could safely relieve myself without having to deal with the entanglements of a relationship or do something illegal. So that's the simple life. That's the simple sex life. Masturbate. And if you're still horny, masturbate twice. And then after you masturbate twice, you say, you know what? I don't want to go into the streets and get a hooker. I don't want to go pick up my Latino MILF. I just want to go to sleep, have a cheese sandwich. And what do I tell you? Thumbs up. Have a good nap. Backwoods, thank you again, man, for that generous gift, man. Love to you. Merry Christmas. Well, brother, Merry Christmas. Thank you again for coming back and being a positive person, man. I hope that you're living your dream. You're a hard worker, whether you're going back to Alaska to go fishing for your season. But live your dream to travel the Northwest, brother. Take action because you work hard. You're a positive person, man. You deserve good things. Al, Illinois, thanks for the thoughts and prayers. I got you, brother. And thank you for that also generous gift, man. Appreciate you. Backwoods, hit that thumbs up. Yeah, I appreciate everyone who clicks that thumbs up button. Thank you, man. Ryan, you get over a relationship as each day passes. Yes, and sometimes they take a long time to pass. You don't just wake up one day and get over it. That's a good comment. Sooner you end it, the quicker you can move on with your life. Amen, Ryan. And the sooner you can, once you end a relationship, you collecting 75% of your paycheck, you can do whatever you want. That'll help relieve some of that stress. Backwoods, you're welcome, brother. Thank you. I apologize too, Sam. Now we're going forward. I apologize too. Where you come from, we're both on the same page now. But I'm a good person. I know you are, brother, and I appreciate that about you. Backwoods, it's your time now, man. You hit the road, man. Northwest. I know you want to explore it, man. And there's a lot of thousand trails, camping passes, campgrounds up there. So however you want to define your life, brother, you don't owe me, you don't owe your father, you don't owe anyone an explanation. You're a worker. You go out there, you work for your life. So now you go out there and you live your life on your terms. You're not hurting anyone by deciding that you want to live a simple life and travel. So don't feel bad if some people don't understand you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for living your best life. Giuliano, I'm glad I found your channel. Well, I'm glad to have positive people because I know I could live in my car. You could, rather than be in an evacuation center. I hear that. Around people attached to their material possessions. That's actually an excellent comment. Because, look, I have family members who are on, subsidized housing, and they got storage units. They barely make ends meet, and they got storage unit. And they don't use the stuff in their storage unit. They got food stamps, they got subsidized housing, and they got a storage unit. And they don't use the stuff in their storage unit. It'd be different if they were using it. They don't use it. So, again, I'm not saying all storage units are bad, but I think it is a level of a mental disorder. And I understand it because I've been there. Now, maybe not to the point where some people have, but I understand the hoarding mentality. And it's a mental thing where you can't let go of your stuff. You feel like it's all you have in life. But there's more to life than stuff. And it's actually a trick because the less stuff you have, the more control you have over your life. Because the less you have to take care of and the more you can take care of yourself and the less you need someone else to take care of you. Because when someone else has got to take care of you, you got to live on their terms. I don't want you guys to live on their terms. I want you guys to live on your terms as best you can. So less stuff equals more control for you. That's how I feel. Good job. Brandon laughing. Thanks for the input on my Uno situation, well, brother. Love to you, man. I like that story that you shared. Thank you for sharing it. Backwoods. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to unblock me. Now, thank you for coming back, man. I got to look back through. So I blocked about 3,000 people. There's probably a couple more people in there I need to unblock, but I'm very cautious. So thank you, Backwoods. Lala, a lot of psychopaths on the internet. It's true. Yeah, and even hackers. Look, there's 10% of bad people on the internet, 10% of great people. I've met some probably better people on the internet, I bet, in real life. The vast majority of people are passive, meaning they just watch and they don't leave a comment. Half of society doesn't vote. America is the greatest democracy in the world, but every election, doesn't matter who's the president, half of society doesn't vote. So half of the people who watch videos, they don't click the thumbs up button, they don't leave a comment, they just lurk. And so that's fine, they don't have to. But the 10% of bad, when they speak up, you feel like everyone's an asshole, so you just block on will. And that's why, when there's a terrorist attack or when someone does something extreme, you think the whole world is evil. But the whole world isn't evil. It's just all the decent people are doing nothing. They're apathetic. They're not voting. They're not getting involved. they're sitting on their hands, and all the good people have their hands full. Like Jesus says, like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of work, but there's not enough workers because most of the people are out on disability or they're doing nothing with their life. Now, not for people who can't do nothing, but for the people that can do something and don't do it. I think Martin Luther King said, evil prevails when good people do nothing. And a lot of times in society, good people just lurk. They don't do anything, and it's a shame. Illinois. Exercise and effort is more important as your age. I agree. I'm still swimming and hiking. I like that. My early 60s. Well, thumbs up to you. Stay active. There was an arthritis commercial. It says a body in motion stays in motion. And look, when you live the simple life, guys, not only can you do more things that you enjoy, such as hiking and whatever, but you can also, like I'm doing on YouTube or something, you can speak your mind, you can get involved without overwhelming yourself. So, like if you have a house, if you have 2 cars, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you're getting involved, you can't really get involved in a social issue. You have to be passive because you can't avoid to speak up and get negative feedback. You can't take any more stress. So what I try to tell you is when you downsize, you can get involved in society more on your terms, in your way. You know what I mean? Not that you're going to run for president, but you're going to be more assertive because you have less to take care of, and now you can be more of an inspiration. It's true. Brianna, before moving to Florida one day, how do I look for an apartment before I secure a job? You don't look for an apartment before you secure a job, because if you have an apartment and no job, it's not going to work. So your number one thing in anything in life, wherever you live, is you have to have a job, because if you don't have money, you don't have an apartment. And your apartment is going to ask for a first month, and they're going to ask for first month, second month down payment, and etc. So, look, I've applied for jobs in Florida when I was still in New Jersey, and I know the process. They're going to ask you, well, okay, if we hire you, when are you going to move to Florida? What are you going to do? This and that and that. So, but you can still go through that process, and they will hire you. So again, your first thing is not to look for an apartment. And your first thing is not even to look for a job, it's to visit Florida. If you don't have the money to visit Florida, you're not working enough where you're living. My question to you, Brianna, is what do you do currently for a living? Because if you're not working now, you got bigger problems than moving state. If you're working now, can you get a job transfer? What industry are you in? Can you get another similar job in Florida? So you have to do things in order. If you don't do things in order, you're going to be like some people that message me and say, I started living in my car, but it was horrible. Well, did you do things in order? So like if you don't do things in order and if you don't take responsibility for your life, it's not going to work out. So you have to start with what are you currently doing? And then if you want to answer that, then we can have a dialogue. But if you're not, you're just fantasizing. You're not planning. The difference between fantasizing and planning is there's fact behind planning, and fantasy is just you want something better without really putting any evidence into your work. So I'm being honest with you. That's my honest opinion. I appreciate that I'm inspiring to you. Benjamin, thank you. Cameron, thank you. Brianna, you're like a YouTube dad. Well, I appreciate that. I know sometimes you probably hate your dad, and I'm not mad at dad. I cut off my dad. Always giving me the best advice. Well, I love you. I'm not trying to be harsh to you. I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to discourage you. I'm sharing with you what I actually did. I'm not giving you advice that I didn't live. So if I give you different advice, then shame on me, because that's not what I did. So just understand that I'm not trying to be hurtful. So I apologize if I've come across that way. Lana? Next year, 2020, baddest light show. I like that you're fired up about that light show. You're going to put it on YouTube? Good job. Cameron, thank you again, brother. Milano. Sammy, do you remember the first day in your car? Yes. And where winter? Yes, it was winter. I sold my house in February. And I remember being basically at a rest area in New Jersey in the middle of the winter. It wasn't snowing that day, but it was cold as hell. But I was ready. But it was scary. It's just like the first day on a new job. That's the best way to explain it. It's like a first day on a new job. It's scary, but after you show up, every job is scary. But after you show up, after the end of the day, when you wake up the next morning, you say, you know what, that's not that bad. So if you're intimidated by the workforce, all you got to do is show up. Once you show up and you get through the day, you say, you know what, work's not that bad. So not for all people, but for some people, same thing with a car living. So the first day is scary. Once you get through, you say, you know what, not that bad. And then you just put a series of days together. If you can do something for one day, you can do it for 2. If you can do it for 2 days, you can do it for 2 weeks. Now, it may not be something you want to do long term, but you have to start somewhere. And it's scary, but you show up, and that's how you push forward. Backwoods, thank you again for the generous tip, man. Really appreciate that, brother. And Al, Illinois, thank you also. Cameron and Benjamin, thank you again, too. Thank you, guys. Let's take a hydration break. Then we'll keep reading comments, man. Let me just skip to Brianna. Brianna says, oh, you're a patient care technician in the ICU, your healthcare industry? My hospital, I'm pretty flexible. That's a great industry. Thumbs up to you. Healthcare is the biggest industry in Florida. Like in New Jersey, New York, the biggest industry was banking and pharmaceutical. In Florida, the biggest industry is healthcare. So you're definitely going to be able to get a job. So what I would tell you to do is you can, if you have experience and if you're working where you say you're working, get another job first. You're going to have no problem being able to do it. But even when you have a great resume, I've transferred jobs and I've changed companies. It takes 4 to 6 months, sometimes 8 months. So go through the process. You have a great career in a great industry. And if you're moving to Florida, that's the biggest industry is healthcare. So, but Florida's pay scale is also 25 to 30% lower compared to some other states. So you have to secure a job and then you have to know what your salary is going to be. Because then once you know what your salary is set at, then you can budget an apartment. Because if you're only going to get paid $2,000 a month, now you know what your apartment has to be so you can live below your means. If you're going to get paid $5,000 a month, now you know what your apartment expense can be. But the only way to get a budget is setting your income and then setting your expenses and having more income than expenses, but you live below your means. That's how you do it. Milano. Sammy, this is better than DoorDash. Well, shout out to Marin. She told me that I cut back on DoorDash. Look, I was working 3 jobs, my IT job, YouTube, and DoorDash. I wanted to do DoorDash, not just for videos, but I wanted to know another side hustle in case I needed it because I've been laid off in the past. But I was killing my self-care. I wasn't getting enough sleep, and YouTube was suffering a little bit, so I just cut back on the DoorDash, and I put more energy into YouTube. Like I say, you everything in life, it's like a budget. If you take from someplace, it's going to go somewhere else, and vice versa. So I took away from DoorDash, and I put into YouTube, and I also put into self-care. So for me, working 2 jobs is enough at this point. I know I could always do DoorDash again if I had to. And I would. I've proven that in life. I'll do whatever I need to do. As long as I'm physically and mentally able, I'm going to work. Why? Because I want to live life on my terms. Good to see you. Enjoy the dream life. Appreciate you, man. Merry Christmas to you also, a dream life. Get down to Florida, brother. I love you. And I appreciate you. Florida, look, in Fort Lauderdale, the property prices are appreciating. And I want you to continue to live your best life, man. Keep living your best life, man. Don't get too hung up on the news, man. Live your best life. Look, my RV still has issues. Well, RVs are higher maintenance. The radio GPS not working in your Class C motorhome. Well, that's not as bad as a major mechanical issue, so at least that's good. Backwoods, I had to do it. I was going to do it. $50, that's all right, brother. Thank you, man, for your kindness. I remember YouTube steals 30% of some shit. That's all right. Look, without super chats, YouTube wouldn't be as feasible. So I appreciate, look, anyone who just views, I appreciate the tip if it's a super chat or whatever. But everything in business, look, when I had an electrical contractor business, it's like you don't just make, you have material expenses, you have traveling expenses, you have insurances. Every business, there's a percentage that's not just net income. You know what I mean? So whatever you do in life, like you do fishing and you make money in Alaska. Like you don't make, like if you get paid $30 an hour or $30 a fish, you don't make $30 a fish. They take out certain in taxes. They take out certain in overhead. So any business in life, they're going to take out a percentage, but you're earning an income. So it's still a net positive. Like, in YouTube, it's the same thing as a job. You're showing up every day. You're providing content and there's, a possibility for you to get a tip and YouTube may take out a percentage, but it's still a net positive because you're earning income. So I'm thankful for any of it, and I appreciate it. Jason, you're the best person on YouTube. Well, I appreciate that, but I understand there's other good people out there. Thank you for the comment. You keep it real. Well, I try to be pretty honest. Thank you for that. And you just speak your mind. That's pretty true. To not many people like that in this world. Well, I appreciate that. I try to pretty direct and honest. I try to balance it with some empathy, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Jason, for that kind comment. Backwoods, I'm living my dream. That's what I like to hear. I'm about to go back to Alaska at least one more time. See, there you go. And to gain up some more and then go trucking to travel the United States. Thanks for the inspiration and kind words. I truly appreciate it. Well, love to you. I would recommend KB the Trucker. Kaybee. He spells the THA trucker. KB the trucker. He's from the Bronx. That's what he did. He was selling drugs. And the way he got out of his circumstance was he got a CDL license. He became a truck driver. And that's what he does. And he makes a good living. And he's earning an income. Now, when he's doing truck driving, the truck company he's working for, they take out a percentage. So it's just like YouTube taking out a percent, right? So he doesn't make net income. There's a certain percentage that the trucking company takes out. Now, he's also an owner-operator. But even when he does that, there's certain percentages for gasoline, for tolls, etc. So just always remember that in business. There's always a percentage that, takes out. Backwoods, live simple. You damn right. Don't let stuff own you. You damn right. Good job. Benjamin, what percentage of Super Chat do you keep? I don't know the percentage. They probably do take out somewhere around 30%, but everyone takes out a percentage. PayPal takes out a percentage. YouTube revenue, like my channel, YouTube takes 60% of the ad revenue. So just the ads, if you never super chatted me, YouTube takes I get 40% of any ad revenue. And I said about 1 million views, you make $1,500. So, that's what I said, like, you don't make much on ad revenue. My average video gets a couple hundred views? So that's like pennies. It's the super chats and everything like that. They help. And having a collection of videos, it all builds up. But again, it's still a blessing because I like to do it. It is work. Sometimes it's annoying, but I like to do it. It's a side hustle. I wouldn't depend on it full time. Just like I wouldn't depend on DoorDash full time. Why? Because there's no way I'd be able to feed myself, pay for my own health insurance and retirement just off YouTube. That's why I practice what I preach. I work a full-time job, I do YouTube on the side, and I did DoorDash on the side. Now, if YouTube ever came viable, great, but I didn't just not work and just do YouTube. So I practice what I preach. There's things in life that you do because you love and you can make a little bit extra money on. But you have to realize that you may not be able to make full-time money, so then you gotta have another job. Good job. Backwoods, you think you own a bunch of stuff, but in the long run, the stuff actually owns you. That's so true. Cameron, YouTube got bailed out in 2008. Capitalism got bailed out in 2008. Capitalism would have collapsed during the Great Depression. What did the country do? That's when the country instilled Social Security, Medicare, and that's when the government built like the Golden State Bridge and other infrastructure projects. In 2008, capitalism would have collapsed, but we bailed out the banks. We bailed out. Why? Because look, you saw what society would be like if no one worked and there was no capitalism. It would basically be like everything shut down on Christmas. That's not good either. You want capitalism to live, but you also want social programs, and you don't want corporations to run crazy where if you're working, you're poor. So, if you're willing to work and if you have the ability to work, you shouldn't be living in poverty. However, some of American society is, we as the people, we live above our means. I was living above my means in 2008. I had 2 mortgages, 2 cars. So was it the bank's fault that I was living above my means? No, not completely. They may have gave me loans that shouldn't have gave me, but I still took out those loans. I have to take accountability, and I did. And that's why when I really said, I got to downsize my life. Now, it takes you a while to get out of debt, but that's what it takes. Backwoods, real talk. At Jason, thank you. Backwoods, real talk, Sammy. We must rise. You damn right. Good job, Backwoods. Cameron, Sam 2020. No, I don't want to be president yet, man. Maybe when I'm older. Look, I want to be financially independent. I want to live in Florida. See, like even right now, like I wouldn't want to travel to other countries. I'm not there yet. Maybe one day. I do want to give back. Like I do feel like I could lead. I could help people, and not just help big corporations. I feel like I help regular people. However, even the regular people, and I would have to be honest. Like there's some part of life that government and society can help you. And they should help you more. But you have to do some work of your life. You have to be accountable. Government and society, they can do some, but you have to do some too. So there's a balance that America has to come to where, yes, I think, like the middle class is shrinking. There's people that fall through the cracks. So society could be rebalanced a little bit to not just favor the corporations, but to favor everyone. However, look, there has to be people who are productive. And the highly productive people should be rewarded. And like if you're destitute, you have to be honest. Like Bob Wells was collecting disability. He was doing a van build out. So like, was he really disabled? You know what I mean? It's like if you're disabled, like I got family members, like they say they're disabled, but every day they go to the gym and they still date other people who are on drugs. So if you're on disability, if you're doing drugs, if you're dating people with drugs, and if you're unthankful to your mother, screw you. Okay? Why? Because I'm not going to fucking flip over society so you can talk nasty to your mother, you live rent-free, you can date another drug addict, and you can blame society. I'm not going to let the hardworking people suffer. However, if you're working at Walmart and you still have to be on government subsidies because, Walmart doesn't pay a living wage, that's a problem. Okay? And that's where the corporation's got to pay. But there's got to be that balance there. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the tough part about society. Brandon? Oh, yeah, I read that. Brianna, you're in a great industry, the healthcare industry. So you can definitely get a job in Florida. Just plan it out. Take it one step at a time. How do you conquer a big task? You break it down in small steps, and you take one step at a time. The longer you procrastinate, the more anxiety builds up. Action relieves anxiety. Good job. Lila. 130 people fundraiser, my previous friend cancer. And then a lot of money there. Pray for my family. I will. Love to you, Lila. Enjoy the dream life, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to Canada. Hey, Sam. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Same to you and your family, brother. God bless you also. Enjoy the dream life. Thank you for all your positive support since day one. You've been a long-time viewer. I wish you success in all your business ventures and all your personal goals. Keep pushing forward. Milano. Sammy. Not having a job is like being out of shape. That's an excellent analogy. Guys, if you're out of shape, and if you have the ability to go for a walk, now I understand it because my mom is like that. My mom's a loving person. She's a hard worker. She always worked, but she can never take care of herself physically. So, look, I understand there's some people, they just don't have it. But again, I can only say, like, look, I had to separate myself from that mindset because I found myself eating with my mom and then, like, giving into her guilt trips when I stopped eating like her. I love my mom, but she understood that eventually. There's a reason why I said, look, I'm not eating with you anymore. Why? Because I have to get my health in order. I can't be back in the hospital again. Tomasco went for a 6-mile walk today, low 30s. Well, Tomasco, you're changing your life. Bundle up. I had an Under Armour hat on, an Under Armour long johns on. You can do it. Wear a scarf, 3 pairs of socks. Every time you walk, you change your life. Now, again, if you're elderly, if you're disabled, I understand, but do what you can. Get up, let that blood flow, change your life. Good job. Cameron, thank you, Sam. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. You stay positive. Milano. Sammy, if you add a bikini lady to your chat, views go up. Well, guys, that's true. But also, like you guys are saying, like YouTube takes a lot out of your super chats. If I had a model here in a bikini, you know how much she's going to take out of my revenue? She's not going to come in here for free. Like, Cameron's about to pay $130 for escort. If I get a bikini model in here, you know she's going to take half. You know what I mean? That's why, guys, how do you increase your revenue? Increase your revenue. Good job. Cameron, the escort's on her way. Well, there goes half your revenue. Tomasco. Thank you again, Tomasco. Milano. Sammy, we need Andrew Yang freedom dividend. Look, I think it makes a lot of sense, but he's got to be careful because if you opt in on it, you may lose other social programs. But I think the thing is, if you don't opt in, you don't lose anything. He's right that society is eventually going to need it, but he's a bad salesman. He doesn't know how to sell it. So, I was one of the first supporters of him because I believe in some of the general things. I think he's a smart guy. He's a businessman. He's a capitalist. However, he's not as good as a salesman as Trump. And look, I'm not a big fan of Trump. I didn't vote for him, but I respect the different things that Trump has done that positive. But look, people are more emotional than mathematical. So Andrew Yang doesn't, but I don't know. I hope he can figure it out. But I don't know if he can sell it as well as he needs to sell it. We'll see. Pay insurance, healthcare, yeah. On taxes, 99% of people. Guys, if you're paying for your own health insurance like I do, that's a minimum $200 to $500 a month. So if you're living, if you have Medicaid or something, I guess it's different. But for me, when you're paying for your own health insurance, guys, that right there out of your pocket, that's $200 to $500 a month. So that's, a lot of money. And you got to have health insurance. Number one cause of bankruptcy if you get medical bills. Cameron, got to go, Sam. Thanks again for the video. Well, thank you for your support. I got to go too, guys. This was a long one. But, guys, there was a lot of people in here tonight. Showed me a lot of love, and I thank you. I thank you. All right, guys. Look, when in doubt, less. Less is more, less stress, more enjoyment of life. Joseph, hey Sam, I'm coming up on a year living in my van. Thank you for sharing. Next month, your videos were a guide. Thank you, man. For me and a major influence on my journey. Thank you, man. Joseph, love to you, brother. Respect for you. Thank you for sharing that comment and being courageous enough to do it. And I'm glad to hear your journey's good. I like that you use the word guide because that shows me that you put your own touch on your life to live on your terms. I like that. And Backwoods, man, thank you for coming back. I appreciate everyone, guys. Stay positive. Keep pushing forward.